foremost women's rights activist Dr. Joe Odumakin has advocated a conclusive end to the murder investigation of late MKO Abiola's wife, Kudirat Abiola. Joe Odumakin made this known in an exclusive interaction with Plus TV Africa. She eulogized Kudirat Abiola and said a national monument should be named in her honor. Kudirat, a successful businesswoman, was born in 1951 in Zaria, Kaduna State. Ordinarily, she turned to private life. The military annulment of the June 12, 1993 presidential election, which her husband had won, brought Kudirat into pro-democracy movement. She was brutally murdered on the 4th of June, 1996. Abdulmumuni, one of the sons of the late MKO Abiola, has applauded the decision made by President Muhammadu Buhari to recognize and officially gazetted June 12 as Democracy Day. In a one-on-one chat with Plus TV Africa, Abdulmumuni sees the development.
I was outside with my friends. I was just after work. I was having a couple of drinks with my friends, and from Osun State, Inspector Adebisi, he called me. He was like, "Hello, this show. Hello, this show." I was like, "Yo, what's going on? Like, what can you do? A lot of shit. No, I'm doing a lot of shit." And he was like, "Hello, this show. They've announced it. They've done it too. They've announced June 12 as Democracy Day." I was like, "Hey, Roddy." I said, "I just put it because you have to be fake news. Now this is the area of fake news." I called my brother Jamie. He's like, "It's true." I was like, instantly, I was actually planning on going out that night, but I was so happy. Like I don't think you can understand how psyched I was, because it seemed like a weight was just lifted off my shoulder. I was so happy that I even started to feel scared of going out, because I would have undone. I would have done any. So I told my friends, "Oh yeah, I'm coming." I got in my car. I was like, "Baby Lolly." I came home straight, and I just had to just pray or something, because it was like that was like the best. There was nothing. I don't think there was anything better than that. That was like the best gift.
He also illustrated his account of what transpired on the 12th of June, 1993.
Oh, well, I was still a kid, so I didn't even understand what annulled meant. I didn't understand the meaning of the word annulled. But what I do know is I just saw, it was just like, you could see the drastic change from a joyous, event to just sadness and just, dread. So it was, I think for me, I think it was sad, not only because it was annulled in that way, but because of what they tried to kill. And it wasn't Abiola, and they wanted to kill the Nigerian spirit. And I think that alone is treacherous, because Nigerian people, are very wonderful people and very pleasing and nice people. You'll be so shocked with all the pressures that we have in this country. We're still smiling. You wonder what is going to get Nigerian people to stand up and say Otito. You wonder. And I'm just saying, because if my dad was saying Hope 93 in 1993, and we're in 2019 now, and everybody's still like, "Hello, Maju." Everybody's just still calm. You know that we're very fun, peace-loving people. And I think my dad understood that. So he was really against any kind of violence, even after the elections were annulled, because he already understood that, look, you don't have to lay your life down for this, because he was prepared to take that sacrifice on their behalf. I was here in the house. I even was here when the soldiers came. They blocked the whole precinct. They came into the house, searching wardrobes to see if my father was inside the wardrobe. It was a big deal. It was so funny, because my mom, at the time, I was with my cousin Jide Hassan, and he was at my house. His mom was so scared. They were living on the island. She was so scared that something was going to happen. She wanted to pick up her kids, but she couldn't get in from the Crescent Gate. So my mom had to walk him all the way to the main gate. And it was so funny, because when my mom, she came out, the soldiers actually pointed their weapons at her. And my mom was born in Zaria, so she spoke Hausa. And she was like, she said something in Hausa. I didn't know what she was saying, but, for a woman to stare down the barrel of a gun at that time, then women were not really outspoken of sorts. So I said, so it was kind of like, it was for me to see my mom do that. And we walked through all those police all the way to the Black Gate, the main MKO Abiola Christian Gate, and handed Jide over to his mom. And me and my mom walked back. So I just thought she was like some kind of female Amazon leader. I'm like, wow, she could do that. And then also after my dad got arrested, she kept it on. And I was in the house, so I saw, sometimes we'll come back from school, my mom wasn't around. Where was she? She was in jail. They had arrested her and kept her in incarceration for 2 days, saying things like, offering her all sorts. And she stood. She said no. She was like, oh, this is my husband. And I think she did that more for her children, because it's really about what you do when it matters than what you do when nobody's looking.
He, however, advised Nigerians to be patriotic for the country to experience the desired change.
My fellow Nigerians, I just encourage you to all to participate in this democracy that we are all trying to build, and I believe that the more we participate, the better it's going to be for our nation. In general, I believe that the annulment of that election was a way of trying to diminish our spirits, and the re-acknowledgement of the June 12th sacrifice of all those who paid the supreme sacrifice, and even those who lost financially. By this acknowledgement, I think this is also a way of letting us know that we are actually all we need, and we have the power to those we put in leadership positions. So once we can realize that we have a voice, our voice has been given back to us by Mr. President, we can start to actually utilize that voice in a way that is productive, not only for ourselves, but for our children and our children and children to come. Let's remember, Nigeria belongs to all of us, and we all need to put our hands on the till to steer the country aright. Thank you so much for being, I think there's a word they use for Nigerian people. We're very, it's a word, and I think it's very belittling too. It's like, oh, we're very resilient, for being resilient. I don't like that word, because it's like, they're thinking that we have tried so many things to destroy you people, but you guys are still smiling. So I'm proud of you guys for, it's not easy, even if it's not easy for me. And with the name MKO Abiola, that Abiola name is like, everybody assumes that everything is perfect. So I want you to know that we're all in the same boat. We're all in the same boat, Nigeria. I don't have any other country, and I don't intend to move to any other country. So I thank you all for being steadfast, and I pray that this country would start to benefit from the dividends of Nigeria, as some of our leaders have.
The president of Women Arise for Change Initiative and the Campaign for Democracy, Dr. Joe Odumakin, has reiterated the need for a posthumous declaration of MKO Abiola as a past president of Nigeria. Joe Odumakin emphasized this in an exclusive interview with Plus TV Africa.
We lost the man and the mandate. We lost the woman. They've been given the highest honor, MKO Abiola, GCON, but we still want the June 12th election results. We want it to be gazetted. After that, the Night Assembly is a challenge to them. Should gazette it. Posthumous is still alive, but there should be a posthumous declaration of MKO Abiola as a past president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. If that is done, we see the portraits of past president. MKO Abiola's portrait should be there, and all his entitlements should be paid to the family.
The women's rights activist said it's important for Nigerians to imbibe the spirit of June 12 and what the day stands for.
We need to imbibe that spirit of June 12. We all wanted June 12 to be Democracy Day. Yes, the federal government has said June 12 will be our Democracy Day instead of May 29.
Describing what MKO Abiola stood for while alive, Joe Odumakin said the winner of the June 12 presidential election severely fought for the abolition of poverty.